So the movie is badass. I loved it. I thought it was so cool. Thank you very much for your time. Do you happen to know the actual number of people Eve kills in the movie? Because I stopped counting, I think, around like 36.
Oh, oh yeah, it's a lot more than that. I know that we count 106 only with the flamethrower. Only with flamethrower. So I think it's a lot more than that.
Yeah, that's I'm terrible at math. That's all that I just can't count higher than that. After that, I just stop. I give up. But no spoilers. But the ending
Or maybe
definitely.
106 was the whole thing. Yeah, something like
Okay, I
that.
was about to say. I mean, I was
Yeah.
just going to take your word for it. But
Yeah, yeah,
106
yeah.
with the flamethrower. Oh my God, that was the coolest scene.
Thank you.
Now, no spoilers, but the ending definitely hints that we might see Eve again. Are there plans to return and outdo that body count for a sequel?
I would love to. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Uh, I'm sure we'll get into some conversations soon. If the movie goes well, if people like it as much as they like the John Wicks. But I would love to. It was a really fun character to play, and I love that world. I really do. It's just so gritty and it feels grounded and it's very emotional too. And I love the characters and the actors we have playing those characters. And yeah, why not?
Why not? Now, on the subject of the flamethrowers, Eve also utilizes like a lot of badass weapons in this. Did you have a favorite personal weapon in her arsenal?
Um, I do love the grenades.
The grenade scene's so
I
cool.
love the grenades because, grenades are meant to, you throw them and you're in a safe space, but she doesn't use them like that. She's not afraid of being close to them or to the person. And it is just like relentless. It just goes
Mhm.
on and on and on. And I really love how inventive that scene gets. But really everything. I mean, the ice skates were amazing too. I love when I put the gun and the knife together because I know, she knows that she's
Yeah.
running out of ammo and she's just, I just love how she literally is very aware of her environment and what's around her. And she's very, quick with
Yeah.
finding things to, to kill people.
Yeah, she made the most of it. And I mean, each scene kept topping the other. I mean, I love the escalation throughout the whole movie. Thank you so much for your time. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it. It's fantastic. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, no spoilers, but the ending teases we might see Eve again. So, Lynn, are you guys already kicking around ideas for round two?
I mean, I can't. You can't help but go there when you get invested of all the possibilities and what different avenues, surprises. So yeah, I would love if there was more to the story. There's so much more I would love to tell.
Yeah, dude, I hope so, man. I don't know how you guys are going to top yourself with this one either. Like some of the action in this is insane. Norman, I love the idea of this world and the honest assassin, which, seems to describe Pine pretty well from what we see of him. How do you lock into that mindset, giving a killer a sense of integrity?
Well, I don't think he was probably always an honest assassin. I'm sure he did he did many bad things throughout his life. I think that's probably the reason why he's trying to keep his daughter out of that life. I think he sort of reached a point morally where he will do anything and fight everyone to keep his innocent child as innocent for as long as possible. So, it's not hard to look into that little girl's eyes and want the best for her already, just being on set. I just think his story sort of parallels Eve's in a way. She's fighting for one thing, he's sort of fighting for a different thing.
So bad guy, but good dad. Gotcha.
I'd say it goes
Sort
from a killer to a protector,
Yeah.
using his killer abilities.
Lynn, one thing I wanted to ask, if Norman were ever to join the Underworld franchise, would you cast him as a Lycan or a vampire?
A lichen. He's so lichen. There's nothing vampire about this guy to me.
I'm liking it.
Yeah.
Good one.
Norman, what are the odds that Pine returns and crosses paths with John Wick in part 5? And, what side of him would you like to explore if we see him again?
Ooh, I think his origin story would be awesome. How he got to who he is and what made him, what turned him, what made him have this sort of moral compass all of a sudden, and all the things that he went through to get there, to get to that point in his head. There's so much. I mean, the door's wide open for that sort of story. So it's, the door's wide open.
No, awesome. I love the little bit we got to see of him. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Cool.
I know now how hard that stunt training is. So I really appreciate. I got to do the ice skate thing a few weeks back, and it's pretty wild. So
Yeah.
Thank you guys for your time. I really appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
And I enjoy your site. I'm a fan.
The movie is fantastic. I love all the John Wick films, so this was a lot of fun. If Winston ever had to take matters into his own hands, how do you think he would fight? Like, would he fight better or worse than Frank in Hot Rod?
Oh, that's funny. Hot Rod. There's a classic. There's a cult classic for you. No, Winston's not a fight. I'm glad. I mean, I once said, I was furious about in John Wick 4, they cut my fight scene, and somebody actually believed me that I had a fight scene and that they'd cut it. I said, no, if they came to me with a fight scene, I'd say, no, Winston doesn't fight. He's the Wick Whisperer. He's the keeper of secrets. He knows everything. That's why he survived so long in this world. He doesn't fight anybody. And he also believes that's why his advice is always, free will. He's a great believer in when he tells Anna and Anna's character, Eva, I wouldn't, I would advise you against doing that, but I'm a great believer in free will. You will do what you have to do. Also, it's, in relation, I'm thinking now about Lance and I, who would normally be sitting next to me here and we'd be answering questions. We always, I miss terribly as an actor and friend. I used to say to him, we have their relationship, I always thought was like they were government employees. They were like CIA and MI6 back in 35, 40 years ago. They met in Africa on some covert mission, whatever, and stayed in touch. And when their governments expelled them or whatever, or they considered them, extra to resources, whatever, they went into the private world. And where do all those people who do things in the army go to? They go to the mercenaries, or they go and become, in the private world of psyops and black ops and God knows what. And that's what these two characters come from. They complement each other. So when he fought and he wanted to fight Lance in episode 3, I was happy for him. But I was very happy to stay in the couch and stroke the dog.
So, speaking to that about Winston's backstory, if there was ever like a prequel spinoff focusing on his origin, is there an actor working today that you'd love to see follow in your footsteps and play a younger version of Winston?
I have no idea about any other actor, but I think if there's a story there. No, I can't think of any young actors. It's like saying, I work with it's like talking about, you think actors work with, I think I work with Lance is dead. I work with a lot of great actors, George C. Scott, Richard Burton. You go back forever. Some actors who now are young kids are looking, you go, who? They don't know who those guys are, some of them. I said, well, the first thing you should do is go and learn about cinema and look up some of the stuff these guys did and whatever. I think Tom Cruise has got some kind of, I think I was reading the other day, he's got some kind of video out where he encourages young actors or actors to look at cinema, from its history and the people that are great in it, not just the last 20 years when everybody seems to, think they know everything. But it all comes from something. It's like this franchise, it's been 10, 11 years now, and it's got better, I think, and better. Instead of getting worse and just blowing them out, it's got a line through it that if you can follow. My characters got richer. I think, the Wick characters got richer. I'm bringing in Anna now, which is sort of the baby Yaga to to John Wick's Baba Yaga, if you like, is like a great addition to the storyline. If they ever do a John Wick 5, if Keanu feels up to it or wants to, it can only strengthen the franchise again, you know?
Well, last question for you. If they do a John Wick 5, is it safe to say we'll see Winston there?
If I'm still around when they decide to do it, that would be a very nice thing. Yeah, I've loved it so far. It's been a great 11 years. And as I said, it's sort of like a family because we same director, same photographer, much the same actors with additions now and again. But yeah, it's been a good trip so far.
Well, I think you look great, so I hope to see you there. Thank you very much for your time, sir. I really appreciate it.
Nice talking to you. Thank you.